and welcome. In this tutorial, we will learn C# by creating a simple game for kids. You will also learn how to migrate from Windows Forms to WPF, and you will learn WPF, but a bit later. In this tutorial, we will just create a single Windows Forms project. So let's create a new project. Be sure to select C#, Windows, and Desktop. And here we will select Windows Forms app .NET Framework. I decided to call this simple game Pet. For this one, we will place solution and project in the same directory. As for the framework, yes, the latest .NET Framework as of now is 4.8. But you see, these three .NET Framework versions do not work on Windows 8. I mean 8.0. So if you want it to work on 8, you need to select .NET Framework 4.6.1 or below. And if we choose 3.5, 3.0 or 2.0, we will also be able to launch our game on Windows XP. Choose .NET Framework 3.5. Okay, and let's create. We will start with the design. It will be not the final version, so you don't have to follow me step by step. Just pay attention to the C# code that I will be writing. So let's make it stick. Okay. Now we will change the size. I guess it should be well, let's make it 900. Okay, and as for the height, I think 500 should be enough. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe too much. Okay, that's better. Now, well, as I see it, in the left half, we will have a properties window for choosing a pet, its age and its name. And in the right half, we will have the game itself. So let's start designing. Let's change the title here to Pet. Good. And oh, before we begin, let's change the icon. We will import it from here. I have it already prepared. You can make it yourself. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I will upload it to GitHub, so you could download it as well. So, okay, content, do not copy, that's right. So we go to properties, and here we are going to set the icon here. Good. And now if we check the exe file, oh, we have not built anything, so there's nothing here. And once we build it, you see here our icon. Alright, maybe something in assembly, copyright, no, nothing here. Okay, and next, we are going to um, we are going to have different pets and different ages, and I think the user will be able to unlock them by winning more games. So we need a counter that would save the number of wins. Well, we could save it in the file, but for this one line, I think it's not worth creating a file. So let's go to Properties and Settings. Here we will create a setting called, well, let's just call it wins. Its type must be of int, scope to user, and its starting value will be 0, right? Okay. Now, so as for design, I think we will have also a panel here for exit and restart. Yeah. So I will use a what will I use? I will use menu strip. Okay. Good. Now I think we need to change his height, maybe just 1 pixel below. Not. Alright, never mind. Oh, that's better. So we will have a menu strip with just 2 buttons, namely restart and exit. Good. So, well, the names are fine. Okay, now, as I said, we will have 2 halves. Let's start with just one group box. Group box here. Good. Now, I guess this is the center. And, well, while playing, we don't need to see it, so we will hide it in code, and we will need to access it by name. I'll call it properties box. Good. And next, we need a good title for this group box. Let's call it. Oh, we can make a sentence here. Buy a pet and make it happy. That's right. Now, we also need to. Oh, we also need to show the counter of wins. So we will use a label. We will also need to access it by name. So intro label here, and well, the text will be like this. You won, then the counter, and times. That's it. And next, we'll make another label with some ground rules. So we will not access it by name, so we don't care about it, because we won't change it. If you make your pet 100% happy during, I think I want to get the heart character, but I don't remember how to do it. Alright, I'll do it later. Okay, so I copied it. I just googled black heart character and paste it. Yeah, good. If you make your pet 100% happy during let's just make it as a goal. Make your pet 100% happy. That's it. Alright. Okay. Oh, and we also need to explain how the game works. So we will use another label that will be we will also not change it. So hunger. I plan to make hunger and happiness as two main resources in the game. Happiness is good, hunger is bad. So hunger makes your pet unhappy and raises by 1% each day. So there will be a time limit, probably 20 days. And and we will also need some money in the game. You get not the real money, don't worry. You get $1. You get $1, and we will also have some in-game free time. So 1 free hour. Yeah, 1 free hour every day. Well, not bad. And next we will we are going to make another group box. Group box here. It will be for choosing your pet. This will be enough. And well, if you want this title to appear in the middle, there is some bad news for you. You cannot have it. So we will simply use two controls. We will have empty title on the group box and use a label good. We will use a label on the middle. Yeah. Guess somewhere here. Oh no, somewhere here. So the title will be Choose Your Pet. Okay. Next, we will have some options like different pets. So we will use radio buttons for that. Radio button means that there is a group of radio buttons and you can only select one of them at a time. So I plan to have 5, at least 5 pets. Well, maybe 4, no, 5 pets. And I guess the basic pet should be puppy. That's right. So puppy. And puppy will have a bonus, like plus 5% happiness. Again, the heart. Okay, and alright. And next, let's make all our choices in different colors. So we need four color, and we will use web colors. Let's choose something blue, more blue. We will pick no. Oh, that's a good color. Yeah, here, hot track. Good. So the next pet, it will be Kitty. Yeah, Kitty. It also will have a bonus like +1 day, and you will need 5 wins for that. Good. By default, it won't be enabled, so let's change it to false and change the foreground color to orange. No. Yeah, that's good. And next, let's change. Oh, and by default, this option will be checked. Set it to true. Good. Now, the third option, the third pet, will be parrot. Parrot. As for its bonus, well, let's assume that hunger would have different effect on different pets. So the parrot will be special because the effect of hunger is reduced by 50%, so by half, and you need 10 wins to play a parrot. Good. And its color, let's change the fore color. Hot track, highlight. Let's create some more pets. So another radio button. Here. Okay. So this pet will be, who will it be? Hamster. And hamster will have initial happiness, a great bonus, like +10% happiness, and -1 day. Yeah. So it will have both something positive and something negative. Hamster will be, well, let's just keep increasing the number of needed wins by 5. So 15 wins. And the fore color will be green. Good. Next, let's choose, I guess it will be our final pet. So let's make it someone who is not very domestic. Panda. Yeah. Maybe it's unexpected, but whatever. So +1 percent happiness, and what's so special about it? Well, we can accumulate +1 happiness every day. Yeah. And you will need 20 wins to get a panda. Okay. So, well, pandas are black, so let it be black. Now, I think, well, I said it is a game for kids, so I think we need some pictures, not only some colors. So, we will use a picture box. Here, its size is too big. Let's make it 18 by 18. I already have the pictures. We need to import pictures manually. Okay, now we will need puppy. Puppy. Oh, that's good. Okay, now kitty. I guess I can copy paste it. Kitty, kitty. And also parrot. Parrot. Okay. Don't worry about these frames, they do not appear when we start our program. Let's just keep copy pasting. Hamster and panda. And again, I think I could upload these pictures on GitHub. So no, not parrot, panda. Yeah, good. Oh, we will also access these radio buttons by name. So this will be choice A, choice B, choice C, choice D, and our special will be special. Choice not E but panda. Yeah, because it is so special. Well, I guess that's it for the pet choice. Next, we will choose the age. So we will need another group box. Here. Its name. Type here, choose your pet, choose your pet's age. Yeah. I guess we will limit ourselves to just a few age choices. So drag a radio button inside the group box, and its name, its text is guess 1 month, and again it should have some effects, otherwise why would anyone choose a different age. +1 day and +1% hunger. Yeah, we will have another radio button here. It will be 6 months. And well, let's make it without an effect, no effect, but you need at least one win only. Come on. Alright. And finally, the third choice. A year. So, +1 happiness. Let's take happiness from here. +1% happiness. But -1 day. Yeah. And you need 2 wins to unlock this age. Oh, -1 day. Come on. Yeah. Good. I think we also need to access these by names as well. So 2, so age choice 2, 3, age choice 3. Good. And we will also show the effect that it makes below. So and we will set it in code. So effect label, and its text is, well, by default this option will be selected. Let's make it checked. Set it to true. So label 4 initially should be effect +1 day and +1% +1% hunger. Good. Now I think, oh, and we should give our pet a name. So enter your pet's name. Now we will type the name, so we will need a text box control. So and we also will access it by name, so name box. The default name will be Rex. Yeah. So go ahead and create a parrot Rex. So, and well, the name could be big, so like this, and the name should be obligatory. So let's make a label that will appear only if the text box is empty. So we need to access it by name. So let's call this label warning name, and the text should be enter the name. Yeah. And let's change forecolor to red. Web color red. Yeah, here. Okay, good. So by default this label should be invisible. So set its visibility to false. It's not shown in the designer. Yeah, and we need a button to start the game. So button start. and buy and start. Let's imagine that we are at the pet shop. Buy and start. We need buttons just for us, not for the user, only for testing. Buttons to add win. So add win, and I guess we will need to hide it in code most of the time. So add win should be its name, and also we will need a button to erase win statistics. So hold Control to copy the button. So and button erase is its name. The text should be erase. Yes, and just to make it visually different from this button, but still not so ugly as just a red button like here. So I could just take this, but it looks so ugly that I guess we will try a very simple trick. Use visual style backcolor, set it to false. That's it for the properties. Now, well, let's try and check if all radio buttons belong to their own groups. So these radio buttons should not mix with these three. Oh, and I also forgot to disable these radio buttons by default. Well, at least they work as expected. Good. We should disable this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. By default, they should not be enabled like this. So let's check it. Let's create the half with the game itself. The group box should be almost exactly as this one, but we will show the current day as the text of group box. So it will be like this: day current out of total. In order to change it in code, we will need to access it by name. So change its name to day group box. We will show the current happiness, money, free hours, and hunger. Well, I think it's easier to just drag and drop separate labels instead of making one big label. This should be day hunger label, and its text will be happiness, will be some counter from code, and percent. Next will be day hun label. Its text will be just hunger and the counter and percent. Next we should have some money, so dollar sign, and that's it. Oh, and its name. day money label. Next, next day 3 hours label, and 3 hours. It would be more interesting if we have like daily comments. So every day you get a new comment, just to make it more relaxing. So this will be a daily message, of course set from code, and its name should be well, daily message. Okay. If we have like 20 days or so, well, we will have to make a choice every day. What should we do? And we will have to use again radio buttons, because we should not perform these actions at the same time. So this will be daily choice 1, and this should be walk. We will try to use the name in the options for the for every day. So daily choice 1. Next, another radio button. This will be daily choice 2, and here daily choice 2, and let's type fit 1. And the third choice, I guess it should be like a special choice. It will only be visible from time to time. So daily choice 3, and daily choice 3, and this should be something special. So by default this should be false, and every day we will make a random chance for it to appear. Make a default option, so walk should be default. This should be checked. And now we need a button to move to the next day, so let's drag a button here. Let's call it button next, and next day. So let's make buyable items here. Well, for puppy we shall make a big bone, so a big bone, its price should be $14, and its effect will be dramatic, like no more hunger. And we need a button to buy it. So if it costs $14 and you get only $1 every day, you will only have it on your 14th day. So you will only have 6 days left. Now name, button by bone, button by bone, and by. Each item will have a default button, so let's copy paste both of them here. So this one will be forage. Its price should also be high, like $10, because we will weaken hunger. So hunger is weaker, like also 50%. So if you play for the parrot will have no hunger at all, considering it buys forage. Now hunger is weaker, right? Buy button, buy forage. Now let's duplicate both of them. Well, yeah. So for our kitty we will have a a toy mouse. Yeah, a toy mouse. Its price should be small because it will just give a small bonus every day, like +1 percent happiness every day. So if you play as Panda, you will get 2% happiness every day with this item. And this should be button by toy. And this will be button by fruits. Yeah, fruits. Button by fruits. So fruits. The price should be a little as well, $2, and it will have a temporary effect like -2 hunger. We also need to display some final results when we finish the game. We could show it as a message box, but honestly this wouldn't feel as a game at all. So let's drag it here. Yeah, and we will use a label to display results. This label will show final happiness. So label final, final happiness. We will set it from code, and by default this should not be visible until the game is over. And we will also, in addition to showing the happiness of the pet, we will say it in words, whether you win or lose. So label result. Yeah, label result and result. Again, set from code. We can make a warning about whether this is the last day, so if you have some money you should spend it. So label, well, here this should be label last day, and we will make its fore color like something orange or red or something between coral. And as for the text, just the last day, and by default we should not see this, like, yeah, good. Well, yeah. Again, don't forget that it's just a starting project and we will not stay on Windows Forms. We will migrate to WPF, Windows Presentation Foundation. So let's go to code. Subscribe to see more tutorials. We shall start by defining how many days are there actually in the game. Let's state that there are 20 days. We also need a variable for happiness, so happiness should also be relatively low, but not too low. Hunger should be 0. The hunger should be of different degree, so there should be hunger modifier, and by default hunger modifier should be 2. Starting money should be equal to 1, next free hour should be equal to 1, a special variable, happiness bonus, this should be equal to 0, and we also need to know the current day. So the current day should start from 1. We also need to track the number of wins. By default this should be 0. Walk should bring some happiness, so by default you will have happiness for walk like 13. Yeah. Price for toy should be equal to 4. Oh, yeah. This will be feeding 1 and this will be feeding 2. So price food 2 will be equal to 2. Price for bone should be equal to 14. So boolean big bone by default is equal to false. Well, happiness, I don't know. Well, false. Let's keep it. It's just a temporary name. We need a variable to store daily messages. So we will use queue. New queue. Let's remove the unnecessary. We need to use system's collections. Yeah. And we will also need some randomness. So random rnd equals new random. And yeah. Well, anyway, we need to store the name of our pet. So pet name. Before we shuffle the queue, we need to store it somewhere. So this should be string array s1 and curly braces. So let's start and type our daily messages. Subscribe to see more tutorials. This is our array of daily messages, and later we will use queue, which means that elements that get into the queue first will be first taken out of it when it is dequeued. So they are taken from the start. So if you start like your pet dreamt of you tonight, play more, consider taken, and so on. So when you dequeue it, it will first take this element, then this element, then this element, and so on. I've decided that this will be the indicator that this choice is currently available. So let's move on. When we start the game, we should first tell how many times the person has won. So Let's access the form load event. Load, yeah. Okay, so let's move it from here to here. We will assign the value to the variable wins by typing wins equals settings, include the properties type default, and here you can type the property name, or you can type dot and get it like this as well, but I prefer using strings, so wins. And we need to convert it to int, because settings by default are objects. We can make an explicit cast. We need an array list for our messages. So array list, as you see, it implements the iList interface using an array whose size is dynamically increased as required. It's a big improvement compared to basic arrays. So array list with the name lst and new array list, and instead of adding to it one by one in a loop, we will use add range, and here we pass in our collection idest s1. In order to make messages random, we still need to go over the elements of this array list, so we will use the while loop. While list count is bigger than 0, open curly braces, int ran, idest random, equals rnd next, and here the numbers you type are min value and max value, but the min value is inclusive and the max value is exclusive. Pay attention to it. So from 0 to lst count. Next, we take a random string from the array list. So string s equals list. Then we access elements from the array list as well as any other list by using square brackets and passing the index. Our index will be the variable ran, and to string. So every time the index will be within the number of the elements that are inside an array list. We need to remove that element from the array list and then include it. So we remove that element from the array list, and before we remove it, we write it inside the s string. So now although we have removed it, we still have access to s, which stores the copy of that string, and we enqueue in our queue that string. In other words, it's an equivalent to add in the list or the array list. This should repeat itself until the list is empty. We still need to process the number of wins. We first make the basic check. So if wins is greater or equals than 1, then hchoice2 should be enabled. So set enabled to true. We check again. If wins is greater or equals than 2, then we enable hchoice 3, set its enabled property to true. If wins is greater or equals to 5, choice B, enabled equals true. If wins is greater or equals than 10, then we unlock choice C. If wins is greater or equals than 15, then we unlock choice D. If it is greater or equals to 20, then we enable choice panda and set it to true. We access its text property and set it to u1 plus the number of wins plus space times period. Okay, let's check it. So we had it with curly braces and it changes to the actual result. In order to save our wins when we actually play the game, we need to access the form closed event to save wins. So click the form and find the closed event of form closed, yeah. So here we do vice versa. We access our settings and set them to wins. In order to save this, we call settings, default and save. Now, well, it's easy to do this button. Okay, let's put it. Call the application class, which has a method called exit. That's it. Let's create a private method called play. It is void the radio button, daily choice 3, and set its visibility to false. Day happiness label text should be equal to I just want to paste, yeah. Every day we should update our hunger label and set its text. Then we pass the value of the hunger variable. Daily money label text should be equal to money space then plus and money. And then 3 hours, the 3 hours text is equal to 3 hours and we pass the variable 3 hour. If current day equals to days, then label less day visibility should be equal to true. We will have another method called final. If current day is greater than days, then we call the final method. In majority of cases, day group box text equals to day, then current day, and oh, I missed the plus sign, and days. The same as current day plus equals 1. First we check whether our queue still has some messages, because we will dequeue it. So we check queue count, whether it is greater than 0. If it is, then we access daily message label, access its text property, and we call our queue and the dequeue method. Type toString. Daily choice 1 text equals take and the pet name for a walk. Effect it does. So we add, I guess we have a special variable for that. Yes, happiness for walk. If you wonder why I don't just type 13, that's because we not only show this variable, we will also increase by the value of this variable. So if I type 13 here and later, but then I decide to change it to 15, I would need to change it in all places. But if I use a variable, I need to change it only once. I just here. So happiness for walk and percent and happiness, and also this should spend 1 free hour. Okay, so good. And next, daily choice 2. If you want to copy the line, just one line, and not to highlight it, you can just click anywhere on the line, press Ctrl C and press Ctrl V. The same is true about cutting. So daily choice 2, and here we type feed your pet. There's feeding, right? Yeah, feed 1. Feed your pet with what? We already have fruits, forage, well, then vegetables. Feed your pet with vegetables. That is plus 5%, plus 5% happiness, and minus, this should decrease the hunger, so minus 1% hunger, and minus some money, -$1. Yeah. And now something is missing. Oh, yeah, not missing. This parenthesis shouldn't be here. Next. Every day there should be a small chance that daily choice 3 is available. So let's type if random dot next. Well, let's make it from 0 to 6. If the number in its range is 1, so there was the probability that there is 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, and no, not 6. This is exclusive. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if it is, then daily choice 3 should be visible. Yeah, good. And its text should be like play with your pet. This should be something unique, very beneficial, so let's give plus 15% happiness without any negative effects. And we indicate that the user can select this and gain its bonus, so we assign chap to true. Well, it's not intuitive at all. Let's rename it. So click rename or press F2 and type daily m daily choice 3 available. Yeah. So yeah, that's better. Next. Well, every day. I guess that's it for every day. So, and when it is final, the game should not have this button enabled, and these two labels should appear. And yeah, so button next visible equals to false, label final visible equals to true, label result visible equals to also true. Next we set the text of label final here, so label final dot text equals final happiness, and we add the actual happiness and the percent character. Then we check whether the user has won or not. So if happiness is so the goal of the game is to make your pet 100% happy. If it is less than that, then you lose. So if happiness is greater or equals to 100, then, well, first of all, we add wins. So wins plus plus, which means wins plus equals 1. Then we change the text here to update it immediately. So intro label text equals you won space plus wins plus space times and dot. Next we set the result. So label result text equals to you won. Yeah. But if it is not greater or equal to 100, so else, we set label result text to you lost. Your pet is sad. And I guess that's it. So What else? Oh, and also we wanted to make it possible for users to erase their results. So double click the button to create its click event. Then we move it from here to here. So button erase. If we click the button, wins equals to 0, and we update the intro label text. I just copy it from here. So you won, and we say, well, we could leave wins or we could type 0 just in case. Well, yeah. So this will reduce the number to 0, and also oh, by the way, we wanted to make changing these radio buttons cause this label to update respectively to what is selected. So in order to save some time, we will not use 3 different events. We will use just one and call it for each of them. So double click any of them. I don't know why it keeps creating new methods here. So its name is radio button. Well, whatever. So we check if radio button 1 is checked, so equals to true or just true, but I prefer to make it explicit. We change the text here, so effect label text should be equal to this very same text. So effect is as follows. And next we check whether the second radio button is checked. Its name is not radio button, it is a hchoice2, and if it is, there is no effect, so effect none. And in order not to perform every check, even if this one is true, we should put else if to reduce the number of unnecessary checks. And finally we check whether hchoice3 is checked. If it is, its effect is +1 happiness, yeah, +1 happiness and -1 day, +1 happiness and -1 day. Yeah, good. Well, let's check if it works. So, oh, we don't have wins yet. Alright, we will check it later. So, in order to have some wins, we need to be able to start the game. So, let's create button start click event. Just double click it and next. And next here, what do we start with? Oh, we start with checking whether this text box is empty or not. So if name box text length is greater than 0, then we make a pet choice. Let's make an appropriate comment, pet choice. So if choice A is checked, then we apply the bonus here, so plus 5 happiness. So the starting happiness should be increased by 5. Else, if choice B is checked, then we increase the number of days by 1. Else, if choice C is checked, we reduce the effect of hunger, so hunger modifier minus equals 1. Else if choice D is checked, we increase happiness by 10, and we decrease the number of days by decrease it by 1. Yeah. And else if it is panda, so if choice panda is checked, then happiness bonus, oh, I mistyped it, so it increases by 1. You can also change the name of variables here, so rename it or press F2 and remove the unnecessary and press apply. If you do it this way, it automatically changes the name everywhere in your code. We process our age choice. So if it is 1 month, so if radio button is checked, then we increase the number of days by 1, and we also increase hunger by 1. But if it is age choice 2, we do nothing because there is no effect. And again, if it is age choice 3, we again change, we again consider its effect. So else if age choice 3 is checked, then we decrease the number of days because the pet is old enough, but it has felt some happiness in the life, so we increase the happiness by 1. Again, it is the same as typing plus plus. If you want to automatically format it and not to do it manually, just press Ctrl E and Ctrl D, and it will automatically fix formatting. Then we finally need to assign the name of the pet to a variable. So our variable is called pet name, and we make it equal to namebox text. Then we no longer need this half, so we make properties box enabled to false. By default, when we start, this one should not be visible, so we make it invisible. And when we finally buy our pet, we make it visible. So properties box day group box visibility, it will be equal to true, and we call in order to actually start the game, we call our play method. So type play, open and close parentheses, and I guess we should hide this button, not to double start it. So button start visible equals to false. Let's check it. Yeah, so this is hidden by default. Somehow result is not. So when we start, yeah, good. Now result. I guess I left it visible by mistake. Next, after we start playing the game, and we it performs all these checks only if the name box is actually filled with the name. Otherwise, we should show this label. So else, if you have just one line, you don't need to open curly braces. So I can type label warning name visible equals to true. It's the same as typing this. Okay, good. And now, oh, yeah. So after all, I made yeah, we have a function that starts the game, but not the function that moves to the next day. So let's access next day button. It's click event, and here before we begin, let's check whether it shows the warning if we do not type the name. So Rex, yeah, and Rex. Well, all right. So button next. So every day we check whether every next day we consider what was done in the previous day. So if it was daily choice 1, so if daily choice 1 checked is true, and we said that it will decrease the number of free hours, so we should have at least one free hour, and free hour is greater than 0, then we increase happiness by the variable which stands for happiness for walk, currently 13, and we decrease our free hours. No, minus. Good. Else if it was daily choice 2, we if it is equal to true and we feed it, so we spend money. So if money is greater than 0, we decrease we decrease happiness by 5, we decrease money, and we decrease hunger. Next, if it is daily choice 3, we it does not require any resources, so we check. Do we actually need our availability boolean variable? Well, yeah. Sometimes what if the user has not what if the user left this choice as the previous IDEST, he did not change anything, but he was not eligible to do this, so it just left unchanged. So we need to check if daily choice 3 is available. So if it equals to true, then we increase happiness by 15. Yeah, good. Next we need to decrease our happiness by the number of its value. Well, and we also need to multiply it by the hunger modifier. So if hunger is greater than 0, we decrease our happiness, so happiness minus equals by hunger modified by hunger modifier. So if it is 2 and you have 5 hunger, then your happiness will decrease by 10. If it is 1 by 1, and if you bought a big bone, or you are a parrot who bought forage, then it will be 0, and hunger multiplied by 0 will always be 0. So then we need to check if big bone was bought. So if big bone is not bought, IDEST if hunger increases, then we increase hunger. And if by any chance hunger became less than 0, then we should assign it to 0. Then after that we increase our happiness by our happiness bonus. Panda has it, and also one item has it, a toy mouse. So we also increase money by 1 every day. We also increase free hours. Yeah, and in order to save, actually, the play code is highly suitable to be reused, because we need to update all these values every day. So after we click the next day, we call the play method. So it is called at the beginning of the game and every day. Next, yeah, so in order to buy this big bone, let's make such a possibility. So here, so we check if it is not yet bought. So if big bone equals to false, it is boolean, and money is greater or equals to the price of the bone, then we first of all we need to somehow show that the button that the item is bought. So I suggest that we change the background color of the button. So blue is a positive color, so button by bone back color equals to color and deep sky blue. I know it's a good color. So also we need to change the text of the button from buy to bought or purchased. So button by bone text equals to purchased. Next, we say that we have bought the big bone. We no longer have hunger, and we need to subtract the price, and we also need to disable the button so that user would not waste his money again. So button by bone enabled equals false. Next, we also need to update our counters. So day hunger label text equals to hunger space plus hunger plus percent. So it will be 0. It's the same as type in 0. So next, what else? Well, I guess... Oh, and we need to update our money. So day money label text equals dollar space plus money. Yeah. Yes, so guess we could start checking it. So Rex, okay, bind start. Oh, we can try it. It should increase. Yeah. And 15, or considering the hunger -3 or 2. Yeah. So a big bone. In order to buy it, we do not need to spend money. So 14. Our hunger is 14 now. We buy the bone. Yeah, and we no longer have any hunger. Good. Yeah, we won. And we finally got our first time. Alright, good. Next. The game appeared to be too easy, but whatever. As I said, it's not the final version, and we will not do it in Windows Forms. Next, we need to write code for buying a toy mouse. So, well, it should be similar to this. So, let's well, it increases happiness. Actually, the effect could be accumulated. So let's check only if money is bigger than the price for toy, and we increase happiness bonus by 1. We subtract money by the price of the toy. We update the money label, and also, well, it should be accumulated but not too much. So if it is already bigger than 2, Then we button by, then we make these buttons like, by the way, if you want to change the order of this line by quickly moving it up and down, hold Alt key and press up or down like this. So button by toy is purchased, and button by toy back color is deep sky blue, or maybe there is a better color. There is a very similar one like Dodger blue. And we disable the button, so button by toy enabled equals false. So if we do the very same actions, we should get a bit bigger, well, not a bit, if we have 20 days. Okay, so let's start. Take him for a walk. We need, oh, it costs $4. So buy one, oh, and it's purchased. Good. And yeah, I did not consider the effect of hunger. Alright, well, we know that the button works. Next, let's... oh, we also need to implement the code for buying forage, which decreases the effect of hunger modifier. So button by forage equals, its price is 10, so if money is greater or equals to 10, then we let's try different shades of blue. So button by bone back color equals color well, let's take steel blue, and we set its text, so button by forage text equals to purchased, and we decrease the hunger modifier, and we also subtract money, and we disable the button because this effect should not be accumulated in any case. Otherwise it will be the same as buying a big bone. Button by forage enabled equals false, and we update money. So let's copy this line, and that's it. So next we also have our fruits left. So here, buying fruits, it should be very similar to buying forage. Well, if money is bigger, or oh, we made a variable for this one, price food 2 is we decrease hunger immediately by 2. We subtract money hold Alt and press up and subtract it by price foot 2, and we update the money label, and we also need to update the hunger label. We don't need this and this and this. Hunger, yeah, good. And next, yeah. Oh, we need to implement the restart function. So double click it. And here, so I will write a comment that it is restart. So if we restart the game, we should renew our variables. So days equals to 20, happiness equals to 15, hunger equals to 0, hunger modifier was 2, money was 1, free hour was 1, happiness bonus was 0, and current day it should be equal to 1. Yeah. Then we should we should redo our checks so that we don't need to restart the game. So where do we have it? It's in the form load. Yeah. So if wins, so from here up to here. And I just copy this and paste it here. Good. So oh, and we also should remove our bonuses. So big bone is false. Daily choice 3 should be false. And next, properties box should be enabled again. And on the other hand, day group box should be invisible. Next, we make the button start visible again. We remove the label warning about the name, so we make it invisible. We remove the label warning about the last day and make it invisible. We also remove labels that tell us final results. So label final and label last day. Oh, I duplicated it. So label last day and visible to false. Label result, visibility should be false. Also, we should update that we have not bought anything yet, so button buy bone enabled equals true. Yeah. Then button buy forage equals true. Then button buy toy is enabled, and yeah, then we should make our button next visible. I guess it disappears when the game ends. I don't remember exactly, but just in case. And we should oh, and we should make the color of our buttons default again. So button by bone, back color, make it equal to color empty. Good. And make its text as by again. So let's copy it. Next, and for buttons. So button by bone, button by toy, then button by forage, then oh, we never disabled fruits, so we don't need this. Next, then oh, daily comments. Write daily comments. So again, array list lst equals new array list. Good. And lst we add range from our string array s1. So, and then again, while lst count is greater than 0, we create a random number which must be within the count of the list. We create a string and assign it to one of the strings in the array list and cast it to string. Then we remove that string from the array list and we enqueue it to the queue. Yes. Good. So what else? Oh, add win. Yeah. Well, I think we need it very much because is anyone going to actually win 20 times to test everything? Let's collapse it. Add win. So when we add win, we simply increase the number of wins and update the introduction label like you won space plus wins plus space times, and let's type times let's set label result text to you won. And add win, and let's after every such win restart the game, because we need to update all these values and make all the checks again. So we will simply call the click event of restart. So restart toolstrip menu item click. It needs parameters when, well, we don't need any of those. We can pass null here and there, but we also can type sender and e, which are here as well. Here, I'm sorry. And well, that should do it. So let's check how it looks like. So we add win. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. 10. Then 15. Good. And 20. Yeah, good. So if we start as a puppy who has only 5% happiness initially, and we just take only the first option, we end with minus 169 happiness. If we restart and choose kitty, we will have 1 day. Yeah, we have not 21 but 22. And here we will have, yeah, even a lesser number. If we take a parrot, we should get a bigger number, because the number subtracted by hunger will be halved. So, the parrot seems to be very powerful. Next, hamster. It has a bigger bonus, but minus 1 day. Well, let's try. Minus 1 day, so not 21 but 20. Okay. And panda. Well, I don't expect much, but let's try. Well, alright. Now, when we chose puppy, its happiness was minus 169. If we choose no effect, so no hunger but no day effect, 20 days, and yeah, that's right. And a year, so plus 1% happiness initially. That's a that's a small bonus. I think it's like a hard difficulty. So bind start. Well, yeah, because we subtract 1 day, so the hunger was constantly decreasing the happiness. That's why it's not so small. Alright, well, I guess the game works. The only thing we have not tried yet is decreasing hunger. Yeah. Also, if I'm right, choosing a parrot and buying forage should do the work. So we need $10. So we buy forage, and we, oh, I guess I mistyped and typed big bone instead of forage. Well, its hunger should not increase, or should it? Oh, it's not hunger percent its power, how much it can decrease. So if it is 1, it decreases by 19. Next, big bone, when we buy forage, yeah, this is where our mistake is. So so if, for instance, your hunger is 15 and your hunger modifier is 1, then the happiness is subtracted by 15. If it is 2, by 30, and if it is 3, by 45. And if we let's finally check whether we can erase our results. So 22, erase. It updated the label, but our options are still here. Well, and if we exit it, and everything is gone. Alright, well, I'm not going to improve any further the version that I made here in Windows Forms. Next, we will migrate from Windows Forms to WPF, because honestly, Windows Forms has no future. Subscribe not to miss the second part.